Sometimes a job comes along that nobody else wants. And you look at it and you think to yourself, a person would have to be crazy to take on that mess. Then something inside grabs you and you think to yourself, sure, it's a dirty, thankless job, but somebody has to do it. I'm BugeyeBob, and this is one of those jobs. This is part 2 of BugeyeBob episode 5, Removing the Engine and Transmission. If you're new to the channel, thanks for joining us. If you're watching on Patreon, please subscribe or consider joining as a member to help support this restoration project. If you are watching on YouTube, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you get notified when new videos are uploaded. I'll include a link in the description below in case you missed part 1 of this episode. Now let's take a quick run through the checklist of what we did in part 1 to get us to this point in the engine and transmission removal process. The checklist for removing the engine and transmission together says to perform steps 1 to 14 of the checklist for removing the engine without the transmission first. Just a quick note, the checklists refer to the transmission as the gearbox. I might use either gearbox or transmission as we go through the checklists. Okay, removing the engine without the gearbox or transmission checklist. 1, detach your earth lead from the battery. The earth lead on this vehicle, this has a positive ground system on it, which means that the positive side of the battery is hooked up to the ground of the body of the vehicle. Exact opposite of American cars. Number 2, detach the bonnet from the bonnet hinges. The bonnet is what Americans call the hood. That was already taken off, so we don't have to worry about that. Number 3, remove the radiator. Done. Number 4, disconnect the heater inlet and outlet hoses at the heater unit. Yes, it had a heater. Those hoses were garbage, so there wasn't a lot to detach. We just kind of basically cut them and they fell apart. Number 5, detach the choke cable and its outer casing at the carburetors. We just cut that because that cable is going to have to replace and it's junk. Number 6, detach the throttle cable at the carburetor's throttle lever. Cut that also because it was junk. Number 7, unscrew the oil pressure gauge pipe at its terminal in the cylinder block. We did that. Number 8, unscrew the reduction drive if fitted complete with a tachometer cable from the rear end of the generator. That we did. Number 9, release the generator coil and distributor low tension cables. Basically, those are the low voltage wires going to those devices. And because that wiring is all going to have to be replaced, we just cut those. Number 10, release the high tension cables from their connections at the coil and spark plugs. There were no high tension cables. Those are basically the spark plug wires. There were no spark plugs in this vehicle when I got it. Yeah, so the engine's probably goobered up bad. Number 11, remove the distributor as detailed in the ignition section. No, we didn't bother. It's junk. Number 12, remove the starter as described in the electrical system. Didn't bother removing that because the engine will come out fine without it. Number 13, disconnect the petrol gasoline inlet pipe at the fuel pump union. Cut that pipe because it is old. Even though it's copper, I would not trust it, so it's going to have to be replaced. Number 14, release the clamp attaching the exhaust manifold to the down pipe. We did not do that because all we have is a little short piece of down. We don't actually have a whole lot of pipe to deal with. Number 15, attach lifting tackle as illustrated. Yes, we did that. So at that point, we need to go back and start in on removing engine with gearbox checklist. And that is where we are going to pick up. Number 1, perform the operations 1 to 14 as previously detailed. Yeah, we did that. Number 2, within the car, remove the 4 self-tapping screws securing the gear lever aperture cover to the gearbox surround. Withdraw the cover. There wasn't one on there, so we didn't have to do that. Number 3, unscrew and remove the anti-rattle plunger, spring, and cap accessible within the car. That would have been a waste of time because those were missing. Number 4, unscrew the 3 set screws attaching the chain speed lever retaining plate and remove the chain speed lever. Well, you know what? Those screws were out. The plate was just sitting on top and you could just pull the gear shift lever or chain speed lever out with no problem. Number 5, peel back the carpet surrounding the gearbox cover to expose the 2 5/16" gearbox rear mounting set pins and unscrew the set pins. 5/16 bolts, folks. That's what those things are. Number 6, working beneath the vehicle, unscrew the speedometer drive cable at its union with the gearbox rear extension. We just cut that because that speedometer cable is also garbage. Number 7, detach the slave cylinder from the gearbox or transmission bell housing by unscrewing its 2 mounting set pins and withdrawing the push rod from the rear of the cylinder. Didn't bother doing that because the transmission will come out just fine with all of that still connected up. And the real reason for detaching that slave cylinder is because your hydraulic lines are connected to it and you don't want to have to go through the hassle of bleeding the hydraulic lines. But our hydraulic lines are garbage, so we just cut it. Number 8, disconnect the propeller shaft from the rear axle. This operation is performed by removal of the 4 self-locking nuts. Those were already disconnected when I got the vehicle, so we don't have to worry about that. Number 9, unscrew the remaining 2 gearbox rear mount set pins from underneath the vehicle. We did not undo those 2 set pins or bolts. We will be doing that later in this episode. And number 10, by means of lifting tackle, support the engine. Yes, we hooked up the lifting tackle to support the engine. We are now on step number 11, where it talks about remove the 4 nuts and spring washers securing the engine front mounting bracket to the chassis frame. And that's where we're picking things up in this video. However, before we continue with the checklist, there are a few things I'm going to remove from the engine. I'm doing it now because these will be easier to remove while the engine is secure and not able to flop around as it can while dangling from the engine hoist. I'll be removing the generator, carbs, exhaust manifold, front exhaust hanger, bottom rear transmission bolts, left and right motor mounts, and finally something the checklists miss, the engine to body grounding strap. So the first thing I'm going to do is clean a little bit of goop off of down here, just so that I have some idea of what it is I'm actually working with. The less dirt you have to take with you when you take a part off, the better, I feel. All right, so now comes the fun part. 9/16. So that'll match up with that. And yes, I did cheat and pre-loosen these things. Get down in there. And now I've got all of those loose. And the bottom bracket for the generator. Yeah, Get a little screwdriver down in there. Work that damn thing loose out. Get the flat washer off. This one up here, lo and behold, 1/2 inch fits it. And it lets it run around in circles. There's my 1/2 inch wrench. That will fit on back there. And that's beauteous. This one down here is not 1/2. It is not 9/16. It is not anything that we're used to in North America. It is not metric. It is between a 13 and a 14 metric. It's actually 13.40 something or other. But if you get it loose, a 14 will just barely work. And because that is a bolt, or as the British would call it, a set pin, well, maybe it will work or maybe it won't work. I don't know. I'm going to loosen that up because I can take that the rest of the way off once it's off the vehicle. The fan belt is going to go because I'm not going to trust a 60-year-old fan belt or 50-year-old or however old it is. That takes care of that and gets that the hell out of the way. And there's good reason right there why you don't trust a 60-year-old fan belt. Throw that over near the trash.
All right, now I need to get this last 1/2 inch off the back side. And when you get to the point where it's not twisting anymore, then obviously that means that you've got the nut loose. Take that nut off. There. Take this nut off of the front. Oops. Well, where the hell that went, I have no idea. But we'll find it eventually. Now then. Slip that off, slide that forward. Off of there. And there is the generator. Oops. And a bolt and whatever else. All right. Generator is off. Remove the carburetors. All right. Gonna take off the fuel rail and the carburetor. Fuel rail up here, carburetor's there. And have to disconnect the gas line from the fuel pump down there. And lo and behold, this happens to turn out to be a 1/2 inch wrench. At least it's supposed to be. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Damn. All right. It's a pain in the ass. Flip it over, flip it over, flip it over. There's a strong temptation just to cut this piece of shit because it's no good anyways. Oh dear, you know what? Got to replace it. Let's just as well cut it. That was convenient. This piece up here, twist it out of the way. That allows me to use a 7/16 wrench to loosen that up. Get that off of there. Get this one back here. And boom, the fuel rail's off. Next step is to put the bolts back into place so I know what the hell they go with when I start digging them out. All right, now, theoretically, I could take each carburetor off individually and then pull all this shit apart a piece at a time, but I am going to try to get it all off in one fell swoop by undoing all of these things right here. 2 days later. That's actually come along quite good though. Why do I suspect that those are brass nuts? Why do I suspect they're brass nuts? Because they are brass nuts. For some reason I remembered that they used to do that on vehicles. They would put brass nuts on the intake or exhaust. Let's get this one back here. can actually kind of twist those things with my fingers once they get far enough. Not comfortably, but can do it. Nope, can't do it with that hand. There we go, there's the other one. Let's try getting these ones in the middle. It'll be a pain in the ass because it's just going to take a long time to work them out. And then you're going to have to work it out as a set. That one's broken loose. That one's broken loose. Pry that loose a little bit. And the reason for doing that is to give me more room. So I can get it past that breather tube, it kind of goes a little bit faster. And that rear stud is actually coming out of the engine block, which is all right. You can do that. I'm fine with that. Put my fingers back underneath of here and try to catch this nut when it falls. That one's down. That one's down. Got them both. Now then, let's see about taking this the rest of the way off. Quit that. Now, the observant ones of you will have noticed that I already cut off the choke cable and the throttle cable. Why did I cut them off? Because they're rusted all to hell and they're gonna have to be replaced anyways. And by cutting them off, I can take, and whatever the new cables are, which are probably gonna be too long, I can take these two pieces, put them together and use those to measure the exact length that I need. Let's see if I can get the bolt out that wants to come out. Yep, got the bolt. All right. Now let's lift. The carburetor is up and out. Oh shit, what do we got there? We have a vacuum advance that's still hung up. Where does it screw on at? You know what? Vacuum advance is also going to have to be a new tube. So, flip. There's a vacuum advance tube cut. Carburetors. SU, semi-updraft, I think is what that stands for, but I'm not certain. And we will have a whole separate video going over the carburetor. These are the air cleaners. Ooh, that does not look good. Look down in there. That's not good looking. Normally you don't like to see sand inside of your intakes. All right. So, theoretically, I could disconnect all this and do all that and battle against those nuts right there, but it's going to be easier just to take off those two nuts right there and take the whole exhaust manifold out that way. So that is what I'm going to do. Is that one loose? All right, that's loose enough to where it's ratchet's not working. Spin that off. All right. Now we'll pull off the exhaust manifold, and we will set it off back here. Odd that the exhaust manifold actually has, oh, that's interesting, actually has 4 bolts and a cover plate in the top of it. Beauteous. Put these nuts back on here just to keep track of them. Now I'll take off the front exhaust hanger, which is connected to the bell housing. You have to remove 1 bolt from the top and 1 bolt from underneath the vehicle. Let's see if I can get down in here now. Something just fell. Well, that is not 1/2 inch, which makes me wonder. Is it 9/16? Let's find out. I bet it's that damn 4 millimeter or 14 millimeter, 13.4 millimeter, what the hell ever it is. Yep, 13.4 millimeter. These bastards. Damn Whitworth. And of course, I probably do not have a wrench of any size that will fit that, except for an adjustable spanner. Oh shit, that's turning. But does that mean that it's turning because it's coming loose, or does it mean that it's turning because it's just turning the head on the other side? Oh, it's coming loose. Huh. Nope, now it's spinning on the other side. Damn it. All right. Shit. I can set that right there, I think. And get light on that. And as easy as that was turning, I think I just need something to put some pressure in there with. Maybe a long screwdriver. Let's try that. Do. Yep, that's holding it. All right. That holds that. There's the bolt out. Now then, let's see if I can get down to that bottommost place down there. That right there is the one I'm trying to get out. Put it into on the top side and see if we can get it from the bottom side. they're even. And of course, that son of a bitch is gonna now stick, so it's not gonna. Work loose. I gotta find some goddamn thing to jam that up with. So let's see. A little bit of weight right there is enough. Keep that from spinning. Nope. You got enough on her now to where it's spinning off. It's a dirty, thankless job, but somebody's got to do it. Yay! Success. So there is the hanger bracket for the exhaust. Mounts down here to that bolt, and then another bolt down there off the bell housing.
Next to come out are the 2 bolts that tie the transmission support crossmember inside the drive shaft tunnel.
There's that. There it is. I have to put my other glove on, but these aren't terribly nasty bolts anyways. That's nice. Shoot that around that way. Another shower of rust. How nice. See the bolt. That's both of those.
Okay, we're back to the checklist. Number 11, remove the 4 nuts and spring washers securing the engine front mounting brackets to the chassis frame. Those are the engine mounts. Let's get into that.
A half, I hope. Yep, that's close to a half. I think the back side of this is close to a 9/16. Yes. 9/16 fits that. Half fits this. All right. Do. Jesus Christ, that takes a long time to get out of there. That's off. All right. Let's get this other one here. Oops. You know what? You can't get that damn thing off of there like that. You can't, because that catches on the all right. I just have this gut feeling that this is not going to work, but we will try it. Maybe it will work. I don't know. right, there's another bolt. That. That's all three on that side. Just tingle that back. Can't see much, but what the hell, right, folks? Sort of, but not very easily. All right, I'll do this another way then. Use that. There, that's out there. Right. Let's see how much this damn thing shifts around on me when I loosen this one up. This should be the last bolt holding the engine in. Or the engine mounts, which hold the engine, however you want to look at it. Just for the hell of it, I'll scrape some of this shit off of there. That. Okay, folks, here we go. Let's see what happens. One side's loose. There goes the other side. I think I'm gonna need to put this thing where the hell can I get that? Do need this motor mount on this side out. Oops, maybe we're getting it. Put that down just a little bit. That should be enough right there. Damn it. That should allow that. Damn it. Let's go the other direction now. Lift it up. Nope. Let's go the other direction, let her down. finally. Okay, now then. Motor is loose. Now I've got to roll it. Just a hanger so that it will. Oh, something's pissing all over the floor. I wonder what that is. Huh. Yeah, running out. Hope it's only water. Well, it's water, but where in the hell is it coming from? It acts like it's coming out of the gas tank. That's not gas. If that was gas, I'd be able to smell it. I don't know what the hell it is. Zoom it out a little bit so we can see everything that is happening gorgeously. Let's let the nose come up a little bit. What the hell is that? Getting hung up on. Oh, you know what we forgot to undo? Forgot to do that goddamn... Son of a bitch. All right, I know what it is. One more thing we've got to undo underneath the engine. That is a 1960s, if I remember correctly. Why do I have this horrible goddamn feeling that that bulb is? Maybe it is coming loose. Guess we'll find out. Better days here. Turnies. Grounding strap is free. Jack this goober up some more. Some more. Some more. Tilt it some more. Tilt it the other way. Hey, you know what didn't come out? What didn't come out was the goddamn drive shaft. Piece of shit. All right. Oh, looks like our transmission's full of water. I'm sure that's good for it. There it is, folks. It is out. All I got to do now is slide the car back some and swing it around. The drive shaft never did come out like it was supposed to. Okay, folks, that's it. The engine and transmission are out. Stay tuned for future episodes where we find out just how bad things can really get. Okay, folks, that's it for this episode of BugeyeBob. I really appreciate you watching and hope that, like me, you've learned a few things in this episode. Please like, subscribe, and comment on this video and share it with others. You can help support this project by becoming a member at patreon.com/BugeyeBob in the link below. Patreon paid members get early access to the videos, and in the future will enjoy question and answer sessions and live streams. As this channel grows, future Patreon member benefits will include bonus or extended episodes, member names and credits, and the ability to suggest topics for future videos. You can follow this BugeyeBob restoration on YouTube and Facebook at the links below. Once again, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing, and supporting this channel. And remember that sometimes the most important job you can do is a dirty, thankless job.